Do you have Meniere's disease? Or maybe you think you do and you're stuck on YouTube scrolling, just trying to find somebody to connect with. Maybe you're spinning. Maybe you're sick to your stomach. Maybe you have no idea what's happening inside your head. Well, in this video, I want to talk about the top 5 questions I get the most about Meniere's disease. And I want to make sure that you can rewatch these if you need to. Timestamps are in the description, along with a few links. We'll talk about that at the end of the video. So for now, let's just jump right into it. Let's start with the first question. Hey, Adam, what's your diet like? When I first went to my doctor, he was trying to tell me like low sodium diet, less than 15 milligrams of salt per day. You just need to get away from the pickles, get away from the pizza, get away from the fried chicken, everything that you love, put it aside. Let's try to find a trigger. Let's find what foods work for you. And before you do any of this stuff, please make sure you're talking to a professional. I'm not a professional. I'm a guy with Meniere's disease that likes to connect with other human beings through YouTube. That's it. I'm not trying to give you any medical advice. I need you to talk to a professional before you do anything like this. But changing your diet could help you. A lot of things in our food inflame us, do different things to our bodies, and cutting out some of the high sodium and some of the other things that we're putting in our body could absolutely help you along in this journey. For me, I found that low sodium didn't work for me. So I'm back to my old diet. I didn't find anything that I benefited other than I did lose some weight and I felt a little bit better by putting, clean food, I guess you could say. A big thing that I don't do is I don't eat fast food. I try not to eat out too much. I got really good at cooking food at home. I bought an apron, I learned some recipes, and now I just dial in my appetite as I need. It's not for everybody, but for me, it doesn't matter if I have pizza or pickles or anything else. That doesn't give me the spins. I don't know what the trigger is for me yet. I'm still looking. So if you have any comments about your diet and maybe this did work for you, please put it in the comments. There's a lot of people that come and check out these videos and they're looking at those comments. They need reaffirmation that they're doing the right things. Let's jump to question number 2. What medications do I take or what have I taken? When I went to the urgent care, they gave me meclizine. That didn't work for me. I've ordered Dramamine off of Amazon. I got a bulk package of it at a pretty good discount. And I like that one. I want to talk about Dramamine just real quick, or things like Dramamine. They don't help my vertigo or my Meniere's, but what it does for me is something different. It allows me to take a nap. I have found through medications that if I can just close my eyes and just nap for a little bit, it tends to reset my brain, reset my eyes. So the other medicines that you're going to probably hear about is the water pills, hydrochlorothiazide, I believe. And it comes in different sizes, like 25 milligrams, 75 milligram, all of that. Your doctor's going to use those to try to drain the water out of your inner ear. And you may be on there for 6 months, a year, maybe several years, or you might be on it indefinitely. Personally, I'm off of mine now. I've been off of it for about 3 months. I was on it for approximately 2 years. And again, didn't really do anything for me. It just made me pee a whole lot. If you've never taken it before, it's just basically flushing your body. You're going to pee probably every 30 minutes to an hour. So don't take that at night. I usually take mine in the morning and it was nice as far as slimming me down, not carrying so much water weight, but effectiveness, I just haven't found a medicine that really works for me. I've tried probably 4 or 5 different ones, but nothing works. And maybe meclizine will work for you. Maybe you'll find a medicine. I do want to talk about behistine. This is something that I read a lot about outside of the US. People can get this medication. It's just basically an allergy medicine. I think it's similar to Benadryl. I don't have access to it. I've never taken it. So even if you ask me questions in the comments, I'm just going to tell you I don't know, because here we just don't have access to it. None of the doctors will give us this. And they won't give us any other antihistamines either that I've found. Mostly because I think it doesn't really help. But maybe it helped you. Again, let me know. I want to know. All right. I want to move into the third question, which is how do I deal with vertigo? Now, everybody deals with theirs different. For mine, if there's a motion like on the TV or if I'm, moving and I just kind of like my head at a certain my eyes will go like back and forth like this. It's rotational and it sucks obviously. So what I have to do is I put my hands, my palms over my eye sockets like this for about 30 seconds. I'm counting down in my head. What I'm trying to do is block any form of light into my eyes so they can just get, hopefully reset. That does not work. I'll do it several times and then I'll take a Dramamine and I'll lay down on the couch or the bed or wherever and just try to take 15, 20-minute nap or more, whatever I need. And I do find that that seems to reset. Things that I don't do, I don't drive. I try not to work with power tools, heavy machinery, anything that could probably kill me. Like I usually, if I can sense that I'm having a woozy day or I'm on the verge of some vertigo, I just stop what I'm doing and I just take a time out. You may deal with it different, and I do want to hear how you do that. But for me, I get the spins, I get down on the ground as fast as I can. I sit down, I do not stand. I have fallen standing, I've landed on my face, luckily into a cushion. I got so lucky I didn't like break my nose or something like that. Vertigo is serious. You have these issues, you are having a vestibular nerve issue in your inner ear. It's very common. I didn't get mine for 8 years. It wasn't until the last 3 or 4 years that I've been really dealing with it. Now, I do kind of want to point out real quick about the vertigo. Some people with Meniere's has it and some people don't. And like I said, I didn't have mine for a very long time. So I was confused when it happened. The good news is from my doctor, he told me that this disease has kind of like a burnout phase. And that burnout obviously is different for everybody. I've had mine since about 2015, maybe a little bit before then. And so I'm kind of at the end where I don't have to like deal with it as much. I probably get my attacks a few times, either a month or a quarter, depending. It's so hard to nail this down. But that's how I manage my vertigo. I sit down, I cover my eyes, I try to like blank out everything. I take a nap if I need to. Vertigo is serious. I do not take that lightly. If you're having those issues, talk to somebody. See if there's something else that they can offer you. That's all I've been offered, so that's all I can answer. All right, let's talk about question number 4. What doctors have I seen? You may have already started seeing a range of doctors. I started with my primary care. I moved to an ENT doctor, and I saw probably 2 or 3 more ENT doctors with different specialties. I've been down to Boston. I've been all over New Hampshire. I got to see this one doc, and he was probably the best doc I could have seen. I got lucky. I get seen here at the VA in New Hampshire, being a veteran, and about 2.5 years ago, they hired an otologist. An otologist is an ENT doctor that has a specialization of the inner ear. Now, my doctor came down from Dartmouth Hitchcock, upstate New Hampshire. He retired. He was the chief of the ENT department. And the VA picked him up part-time for like 3 days a week. And I got connected with him. It was the best thing I could have ever have done, or it happened to me, however you want to say it. It turns out that this doctor also had Meniere's disease. I didn't find this out until probably about a year. He didn't even like share that with me up front. I asked him one day, I said, "Hey doc, how do you know so much about this? Do you even understand where I'm coming from?" And he said, "Yeah, I've had it for like 40 years. I was dumbfounded. I could not believe he didn't share that with me earlier. But it turned out he could relate to me. And that's how he knew kind of like the steps to go through. It was him that allowed me to get this implant. He went up to White River Junction up in Vermont for the VA, and he taught those doctors how to put these implants in. Now, I've done videos on my implants. I'll answer questions for it if you have any. That's not what this video is. This doctor related to me. He helped me. But at the end, he looked at me dead square in the eyes and said, Adam, I don't know what to tell you. I actually can't help you. There is no like cure for this. But you know what? Being with somebody that understood where I was in life with this actually helped me out a lot. Just being able to relate to somebody and what their issues are is really good for the mental health. And so that made it easier. I also saw a neurologist. I went down to the VA in Bedford, Mass. The neurology team there was amazing. They couldn't help me either necessarily, or maybe my issue hasn't like gotten to a serious point where they can go in and like cut the nerve and all that. And I don't want that kind of surgery. If I need that kind of surgery, it needs to be like life threatening. I am not letting somebody cut into my head and make changes. I'd rather be dizzy. I'd rather be deaf than having my skull opened. Okay, that's a little bit, that's a little much. So I've seen ENT, I've seen neurology, I've seen an otologist, I've seen surgeons. I have been all over the place. I've tried the medications. I've tried many things. Nothing has helped me other than time. Let's talk about the final question. And I get this a lot. And this might be the most important question that I answer. How do I deal with the ups and downs of this disease? That's hard because this is very situational, right? This is your way of dealing with this may be entirely different than mine. Exercise, and you don't need a gym membership. That's not what I mean. I just mean moving. Like getting off the couch and just trying to be functional, maybe is the great word for that. I'm trying to be active. And to me, that has been the biggest source of relief for me. And I know that's hard. If you're dizzy, you can't do that, right? You're locked down. But if you can find the time between being dizzy, between the bad stuff, do stairs. Go walk around your house, go walk up and down your street if you can. Just do anything. Push-ups, sit-ups, do the dishes 3 times a day. I don't know. Being active has helped me a lot. And the biggest thing that's helped me is being around loved ones, my family, my immediate family. If you're anything like me, you've probably pushed like your friends and family aside and you're like, I just can't right now. That's probably the worst thing you can do. And if you're in that situation, you can find an off ramp. You can call somebody and say, I'm very sorry. This is what I've been dealing with, and I'd like to reconnect with you. I think having like a core group of friends or family that love you, understand where you're coming from, and that can be there as like a rock that you can lean on when things get bad, that is priceless. You should be surrounding yourself by those people all the time, as much as you can. Diet, I stopped going to fast food. Like I stopped going out to Chili's for lunch on a regular basis. Now I just cook. I throw on my apron and I get in the kitchen and I make a great meal. I got a bundle of recipes. And for anybody that's like, oh, what recipes? Hey, I'll give you a little bit of a tip. Go on YouTube where you are right now and look up Preppy Kitchen. You'll find John. He's from Connecticut and he's got killer recipes. I bet you he's got something that you might like. Easy to cook, super delicious, and people will think that you're brilliant for cooking them food like that. I have just tried to do what I can to keep my mental like fitness there. I think the last thing that I've done that was really game changing was finding hobbies, finding ways that I can get lost in the things that I love the most. That could be gardening, that could be painting, that could be so many different things. Hopefully not like woodworking and power tools if you're really struggling with this, with all of this. I just think it takes time. You need to mentally exercise your brain and to keep it occupied, because if you're just sitting on the couch or your bed and you're thinking, how am I going to get through this? Life sucks. What am I supposed to do? You're going to have a tough time. The depression's going to be real. You need to find your way out of that. And unfortunately, with no cure, you really got to dig deep for this and you got to push. I want to add one other question that I get. So this is like, consider it the bonus number 6. What can I do to cure me? And this is a harsh one, but there's not much you can do. In fact, there is no cure. I talk about this once in a while, but SPI 1005, so SPI-1005, it's in third stage trials, the second one. Maybe it's available in a few years. I've heard that it's pretty effective. If you're close to their testing sites, I think New York City, Dallas, Texas, somewhere in Florida, if you're within 100 miles of that, I think, or yeah, it's probably less, but anyway, you can get in on that trial if they're still accepting. That's about the only hope we have. There's no food that you can eat. There's no medicine you can take. There's no surgery that you can just go and have, and then you have your life back. This is pretty much permanent, as far as I'm aware. I've had it for well over 10 years. I think 12, 13 years or so. Point being is, you're going to search for the cure. You're going to see, all kinds of comments and videos on the internet, and maybe you're going to have some hope. The best thing you can do is eat well, exercise, be around people that you love, find things that occupy your time that you're passionate about, and just try to live the best life that you can. If you can do that, I think you can get through this. You're probably tougher than you think you are. I want to leave you with this one last thing. Oh, before I get into that, like, subscribe, comment. Please comment. I don't care if you subscribe or like so much, but knowing that I'm not alone is really nice. So when I read those comments, they're huge. They make my day. And I like to try to comment back and reply and heart them up and all that. Last thing I'll leave you with is I run a Discord community. I used to be a full-time streamer before the vertigo really hit and I was having some issues with that. I used to love playing video games over on Twitch. I had a pretty bustling community and I stopped streaming, but I still have a Discord. My Discord was mainly for gaming and stuff like that, but I'm opening it up to people that suffer from Meniere's. And so if you have Discord, you want to communicate with people that suffer like we do, look in the description below. I have an invite to my Discord. I'm going to build out a section of the Discord just for us. And maybe you like to game. I do have community nights once in a while, and I'd love to play with you in, a bunch of different games we have. All right, that's it. That's all I got. Come join the Discord. Re-listen to the answers if you need. Comment with any additional questions you might have. Other than that, much love to you. May your days be full with not spinning and stuff. Anyway, until then, I'll see you in the next video.